Hey guys, it's Speez, back here with another video here at Chat GPT. If you don't know what this is, it's an AI chat program. So I'm not talking to a human on the other side, but a computer. So last time we did this, we were asking it questions about World of Warcraft, about its lore, but it's all things that the Chat GPT can look up. You know, it's out there somewhere on the internet. It could just be Googling it and just have this information somewhere. Now, it's impressive that the AI can answer the question so quickly. But this time we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna ask the chat to come up with ideas in the World of Warcraft universe. Specifically, we're gonna ask it to come up with ideas for new WoW expansions. And I tested this last night, and it actually gets in pretty big detail. I also want to see if it comes up with the exact same answers last night, if I put in the prompt. But first off, let's just set the ground rules here. The Chat GPT only has information up to 2021. So we're going to ask it, what is the newest World of Warcraft expansion? To my knowledge, and it says his knowledge is cut off at 2021, so the newest Warcraft expansion is Shadowlands. So it doesn't know about Dragonflight. I have asked it questions before about Dragonflight, and it doesn't know, it doesn't have information about Dragonflight. So, okay, I just want to set that idea because I'm going to ask it to make a WoW expansion. Can you come up with a World of Warcraft expansion centered around dragons? See what it comes up with. Sure, here's an example for a hypothetical World of Warcraft expansion centered around dragons. Title: Dragon Fire. The ancient dragons of Azeroth, led by the fearsome Deathwing, have reawakened after a millennia of slumber and are now threatening to destroy the world. Players must now uncover the reason for the sudden resurgence and put a stop to their destructive plans. New zones to explore, including the dragon-infested realm of Netherwing Ledge, okay, and the Obsidian Sanctum. Alright, these are it's reusing areas from before. New dragon-themed raids include the Battle of Grim Patal and the Lair of Nefarian. New dragon-inspired mounts, pets, and transmog items to collect. A new playable dragon race, the Dragonkin, with unique ability and play styles. A new profession, dragon taming. Oh, it came up with dragon taming, allowing players to capture, train, and use dragons in battle. That's a really neat idea. The expansion would feature many dragon types, from the usual green, red, black, bronze, but a new type such as nether dragons, azure dragons, golden dragon, and some elder dragons. Awesome idea. The story was centered around the players trying to discover why the dragons have returned and their ultimate goal. Players would have to go through the treacherous dragon-controlled territories and fight dragon bosses to unveil the truth. Now, it made Deathwing. It brought Deathwing back to life again. Somehow, Deathwing has returned. Now, I won't lie. When I put in this prompt last night, I was hoping it did the same thing. It actually came up with Dragonflight, and its idea was that the dragon aspects have returned and are trying to get back their power. But it came up with a new one, Dragon Fire. But instead of a new class, it came up with a profession. So let's go down this Dragon Fire little hole it's come up. Let's ask it for, in this dragon, if I can spell dragon Fire expansion you made up, what? Okay. Who would be the final boss of... What did it say? Final boss of the Lair of Nefarian. See if it can get that deep. in the Dragonfire expansion I came with, the final boss of the lair of Nefarian would be Nefarian himself, one of the most infamous dragons in World of Warcraft lore. Nefarian and his sister on Nyxia were powerful black dragons, who were among the most significant antagonists of the game's early expansion, and the player would have to defeat him once again in his lair. He's known for being a very powerful dragon, using very powerful spells, as well as being able to shapeshift into different forms, including humans. In this expansion, Nefarian will have his new abilities related to his Dragonfire theme. Oh, so Dragonfire is the theme. Such as a massive Dragonfire breath attack. Okay, who saw a dragon having a Dragonfire breath attack? And a spell that would summon a horde of dragon minions to fight alongside him. The final encounter would be a challenging battle that would require players to use all their skills to try to defeat Nefarian, but once they succeed, they will be rewarded with powerful loot, including weapons, armor, and other items that will help their journey throughout the expansion. Alright, so what else can I ask? Okay, let's ask it who's going to be the final boss. Well, I guess Deathwing would be the final boss. Let's ask it if it can come up with some kind of twist. In this dragon, if I can spell dragon right, Dragonfire expansion you made up, what would be the big twist in the story? See if it, in the Dragonfire expansion I came up with, the big twist in the story would reveal that the ancient dragons were not awakened by accident or on their own, but by a powerful dragon aspect, Alexstrasza. Oh my god, the plot thickens here, guys. As players progress through the expansion, they would discover that Alexstrasza, the aspect of life, had been kidnapped and held captive by Deathwing and Nefarian. Okay. And they had forced her to use her powers to awaken the other ancient dragons to create a new dragon brood under their control. I am getting Warcraft 2 vibes off of this. The twist that reveals that the ultimate goal of the dragons is not to destroy the world, but to restore the balance of life and death. That they believe that the mortal races have grown too powerful and upset the natural order. They believe that the only way to restore balance is to cull the mortal races, and that the dragons are the ones that must do it. The players would have to free Alexstrasza and convince her to help them stop Deathwing and Nefarian's plan in order to save Azeroth and prevent the dragons from carrying out their genocidal agenda. The final battle would take place in a new raid, the Dragon's Aspect Citadels, where players would have to face Deathwing, Nefarian, and their dragon brood with the help of Alexstrasza and the other dragonflight. There we go, Chat GPT's new expansion, Dragonfire. Okay. Interesting. It actually came up with a very interesting story, way better than the Jailer's plan. But let's go into an entirely different theme. It could have still pulled some ideas from, I don't know, Dragonflight, from the Ether. So let's go in a completely different direction. Can you come up with a World of Warcraft expansion centered around the battle between the light and the void? See what it comes up with, guys. Sure, here's an example of a hypothetical WoW expansion centered around the battle between the light and the void. Titled, The Eternal War. The forces of the light and the void have been locked into eternal struggle since the dawn of time. However, a powerful new enemy has emerged that threatens to tip the balance in favor of the void. The player must join the fight to save Azeroth, and the entire universe is being consumed by the darkness. New features. New zones to explore, including the light-infused Silver Enclave and the void-corrupted Twisting Nether. New raids and dungeons includes the Hall of Valor and Nighthold. Alright, it's bringing back old raids and dungeons. Okay. New mounted pets. Okay, yeah. A new playable race, the Army of the Light and the Void Touch, with unique abilities and playstyle. comes up with a new profession called light forging, allowing players to craft powerful weapons and armor infused with the power of light. I don't know if we can make that a new profession, but I can see that being like a system throughout the expansion where you can get armor and then you can infuse it with either light or void touch reagents you find out in the world. That would be a cool idea. New story featuring new characters and old ones such as the Narus, the Ethereals, and the Kalandror. Alright. The expansion will feature epic battles between the forces of light and the void, where players would have to fight against the powerful void lords, corrupted elementals, and other minions of the void. Okay, anything else? Okay, the final encounter will take place in the new raid, the Throne of Eternity. Sounds like a raid title, a raid zone for a while, Throne of Eternity, where players will face the ultimate enemy and the master hide behind the void's invasion, and being known as the Oblivion. All right, a powerful and ancient entity that seeks to consume all life in the universe. The player would have to use all their strength and power of light to defeat the Oblivion, save Azeroth in the universe from eternal darkness. All right, Eternal Wars. Okay. In this expansion, what did it call it again? Eternal War? The Eternal Wars? The Eternal Wars you came up with. Alright, a WoW expansion would not be complete without some character falling or being corrupted by something. So let's ask it to corrupt a lore character. What lore character would you have be corrupted by the void? Let's see if it would answer this question. In the Eternal Wars expansion I came with, a notable lore character that would be corrupted by the void would be Velen. Oh my god, it would have corrupt Velen. Interesting. The leader of the Draenei, also known as Prophet Velen. Okay, let's see here. In the expansion, players will discover that Velen has been captured by the forces of the Void. He will be twisted into a powerful Void Lord, using his powers to control and corrupt other Draenei, leading to an army of Void-touched Draenei against his former allies. Players have to journey to the Twisting Nether and infiltrate Velen's stronghold, where they have to face off against Velen and his corrupted minions in a dramatic and emotional battle. The Velen corruption would be a tragic event, but would also serve as a reminder of the power of the Void and the danger it possesses, giving the players a sense of urgency to stop the Void's invasion. The battle against Velen will be a high point of the expansion. Will be a pivotal moment in the lore of World of Warcraft. Interesting. It picked Velen, which would be one of the most uncorruptible characters. Okay. Last question we're going to ask it about this theoretical expansion that came up with the Eternal Wars. In the Eternal War expansion you came up with, what would be a new class you would introduce? See what class it came up with. It came up with the Paladin of the Light. Alright, this is kind of a bust here. I hope it was coming up with something. This hybrid class will combine the healing abilities of Priest, the protection abilities of Warrior, and the damage abilities of a Mage. So you came up with a better Paladin in the Paladin of the Light. Let's see what spells it came up with. Divine Light, a powerful healing spell that heals a target for a large amount. Holy Shield. I'm sorry, Paladins, you are not an actual class in the game. The Chat GPT is coming up with Paladins as a new class in the Eternal Wars expansion, basically. This new class has Divine Light, Holy Shield, Judgments, divine intervention, divine storm, and aura of protection. Not like a class right now has those abilities. Okay, that was kind of a miss by the chat, but kind of funny that it didn't realize, I guess, paladins already exist. Alright, so final question we're going to ask it. There's the one quest as you level up in Dragonflight where you see an alternate timeline where Murlocs have taken over, and they're basically Murlocs everywhere. And in the quest line, you do the Battle of Dragon Soul raid, but everyone's Murlocs. So let's do a Murloc theme expansion. Can you come up with an expansion for World of Warcraft where Murlocs find a Titan artifact that gives them power to try to take over the world? So here's an example of a WoW expansion where Murlocs find a Titan artifact and try to take over the world. Titled Rise of Murlocs. The Murlocs, long considered a nuisance by other races of Azeroth, has stumbled across a powerful Titan artifact that grants them immense power, led by a brilliant and ruthless Murloc warlord. They launch a massive campaign to conquer the world and claim it as their own. The players must stop the Murlocs before too late. New zones to explore include the Murloc-controlled islands, the Lost Isles. Oh, the Lost Isles are now controlled by Murlocs. And the underwater city of Neptulon. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't take it. New raids and dungeons including the Temple of Tides and the Murloc Kingdom. New Murloc themed mounts, pets, and transmog. Okay. A new playable Murloc race. There it is. This is what we want, Blizzard. Even AI knows that we want a Murloc race. A new profession, Murloc taming. Alright? Allowing players to capture, train, and use Murlocs in battle. A new storyline featuring new characters in an epic battle for the fate of Azeroth, like it always is about. There would be many different Murloc types, the usual blue, green, and the new blood Murlocs. Alright. And players would have to navigate through treacherous Murloc-controlled territories and fight powerful Murloc bosses to stop the Murloc's plans. Oh my god, it just used the word Murloc like so many times in one sentence. Players would discover that they have found a Titan artifact that grants them immense power, and they've been using it to create underwater empire. The players would have to uncover the truth about the artifact and where the Murlocs got it from. The final encounter would take place in the new raid, the Underwater Citadel, where players would have to face the Murloc warlord and his council of advisors. And have to stop them from activating the artifact's full potential, enslaving or destroying all other races of Azeroth. Alright, it mentioned this Murloc warlord many times, so let's have it make a backstory for this Murloc overlord. What was this title of this expansion? The Rise of Murlocs. In this Rise of Murlocs expansion you came up with, what would be the backstory of the Murloc overlord who found the Titan artifact? And the Rise of Murloc. I forgot to put the S on the end. The Rise of Murlocs. It even corrected me. In the Rise of Murlocs expansion that I came up with, the backstory of the Murloc overlord who found the Titan artifact would involve him being a brilliant and ambitious Murloc who have always been fascinated by the ancient history of Azeroth. He has spent most of his life studying legends and myth of the Titans and would have become convinced there was still much more to discover. As a young Murloc, he would have been led expeditions to explore the underwater ruins of Azeroth, searching for clues and artifacts that could shed some light of the Titans and their technology. and he would find the underwater chamber containing the Titan artifact. The artifact would give him immense power, and he have used it to unite the Murlocs under its rule, creating a powerful underwater empire. He would have been a brilliant tactician and leader, and his armies would have been able to defeat any resistance they'd encounter. However, the power of the artifact granted him, he would also become increasingly ruthless and obsessed with the idea of using the Titan's power to make the Murlocs the dominant race on Azeroth. He would see the other races as inferior and would be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his goal, even if it means destroying Azeroth in the process. The Murloc Overlord would be a complex character with a deep backstory, and players would have to face him in the final of the counter to the expansion, where they would have to stop him in his plan to destroy the world. Please, what is the name of this Murloc Overlord? The name of this Murloc Overlord in the Rise of Murloc expansion that I came up with is Kargas the Conqueror. There he is, the final boss of WoW. It's Kargas the Conqueror. Anything else? His name Kardas would be a play of the word Kraken. Okay, which would be the sea monster, and Gosh, which was an expression of surprise and amazement. He's Kargas, because oh my god, how can this Murloc try to destroy Azeroth? He would be a formidable foe for the players, and his defeat will be a crucial step in stopping the Murlocs from taking over the world. There we have the AI Chat GPT, I think, coming up with WoW expansions. It is better than the Jailer's Plan. I thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time.